What is up, car addicts? Welcome back to the series where I build popular Fast and Furious vehicles using cars in GTA Online. As always, remember to let me know down below in the comments what Fast and Furious car you want to see me customize next. Now in today's video, we're going to be building the Fast and Furious Supra from the first movie. And you might be thinking to yourself, wait a minute, didn't you already do that build? And the answer to that is yes, I did make the build about a month ago. The video is only about 16 minutes long. However, in this video, we're actually going to be building it with Craig, and Craig's going to be giving us some behind-the-scenes, sort of details and stuff. He was a technical advisor for the first two films, for those of you who don't know, Craig Lieberman, and he actually owned the Supra, and honestly, if it wasn't for him, that car probably wouldn't have been in the movie, because they literally used his car, changed the color, and body kit, and a few other little things, and I mean, it was basically his car in the movie. Now, this build obviously is going to be a longer video because Craig gives a lot of details about behind-the-scenes content and stuff. And he does have his own YouTube channel, for those of you who don't know, which I will leave a link down below in the pinned comment. But, yeah. So, this is the Supra Mark IV base car in GTA. At least that's what it's influenced by. Obviously, it's a bit different in some aspects. I know Craig doesn't really like the headlights all that much. So,
what in God's name did they do?
Yeah, it's not.
Did they find a 300ZX and put it on that car too?
Yeah, I know. It's Rockstar. They get parts from other cars and kind of mix them in certain areas. It's yeah, Rockstar loves mixing stuff. Obviously, they don't have the licensing, so they can only go so far. Even though lately with some of the newer cars like these, they really don't care that much anymore. But yeah, I mean they've been getting closer and closer over the years. But
as much money they're making.
Oh yeah, no, they're making a disgusting amount of money. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Mark IV Supra from the first movie here.
What can we do to it? Anything I can
All right, so as usual for these builds, I do max armor and eternal performance mods. So we'll do that first.
best way to stop?
All right, starting off with the bumpers. So, Craig, would you happen to know the body kit that was actually used on the one in the movie?
Yeah, of course. It's Bomex.
Bomex.
So Bomex, I had a relationship with this guy that was working for me. Neil Chin, he worked with me on the Naira drag racing series. So did his wife and his brother. And he was friends with the guys from Bomex. So when I was the technical advisor, Universal asked me to find parts for the cars. So I would find these parts in catalogs or on magazines, the stuff that I like, and I would call the company, call these people's marketing directors, and I'd say, "Hi, my name is Craig Lieberman. I'm working on a movie called Red Line," because that was the original name of the movie, and it's going to be about import tuner cars, and we'd like to inquire about having some of your parts on some other cars. Click. Hang up. What is it about street racing? Click.
Oh my God! Did you ever at that moment in time did you know that Paul Walker and Vin Diesel were in the film?
Yeah, because once by that time they had already seen my car and picked my car. I'd already met Vin Diesel and Paul Walker, so I knew they were in the film. Paul Walker was a nobody at the time. He was in like one movie called The Skulls that I actually watched.
Right.
He was kind of a teen heartthrob kind of dude, so I didn't watch those kind of movies. Vin Diesel, I had seen him, I think it was at Boiler Room, either before that movie or shortly after that movie. Regardless, I didn't know much about him.
Oh, so both of them weren't really as well known back then.
Not at all. Not at all.
Oh, so you couldn't throw that card out there like this celebrity's in the film, then they would take you a bit more seriously. But at that moment in time, they weren't really that well known.
So I called a lot of companies for a lot of parts, and a lot of them just said flat out no. So that left me a smaller thing. But when I started saying, look, some of these people are not going to give us these parts for free. Okay, how about wholesale? That I could do because I was director of Naira. A lot of those companies were actually sponsoring the Naira drag racing series, so I had relationships with the marketing directors of many companies, and a few of them wound up on the cars. So Bomex was one of those because of the affiliation with Neil Chin, who got me in, and so that was it. They got us the body kits. They sent us all the body kits they needed. We got them at really cheap price. like
Wow.
$300 for the front bumper and that kind of stuff. So there was that.
Unbelievable. And I know, I remember you saying this in one of your videos, but by the time you got to the second film, everybody was throwing themselves at you because the other one was popular.
Yeah, it's like once you lose your, for lack of a better word, virginity, like you proved yourself, right? You know,
Right.
you've set an example, and people got crazy about all the stickers on the cars. That was one of my jobs, to make sure that all the sponsors' logos were on the cars.
Right.
All right, and even down to the square inches that we promised. And
Right.
that was a whole fight. My bosses didn't fight me, but other people from outside our department did fight it. But we got it. That's why all those stickers are on the car, because we wanted to get them brand awareness.
Of
That's
course.
why the racing shop, that was just a sponsor, a benefit. I'm going to use the word I'm going to use the word that you're going to have to edit out. It's basically a sponsor blow, if you will. Okay. That whole thing was set up because it's part of the script, but there was a great opportunity to showcase the brands that have supported us, right?
Of course.
Every one of those brands had a presence in the movie. Right down to the T-shirts called Atomic Zen. You see like 4 banners for Atomic Zen in that scene. Anyway, so the Bomix kit was our choice. Probably not, I wanted to do an ab flug kit on it, but they weren't returning callers after we had our initial discussion, so that was the end of that. And was just that wide body kit would be too difficult. Who the hell put a turbocharger down there?
I was waiting to see your response on that.
Yeah, because when you're driving down the road, everything that's on the road is going right into that turbine. That car's going to run one day on the California freeway.
I was waiting to see your reaction to that. So I think out of all these options, I think this one right here is going to be the closest. At least that's what I put in my other build, the drift with the intercooler. Because, I mean, everything else here with the splitters and extra vents and stuff, I just think it's incorrect. Plus, your car had the intercooler exposed like this, even though, granted, the mouth was a bit smaller. But I think this is the closest.
Yeah. Why is the car gray?
Oh, we haven't gotten to the color part yet.
All right, okay.
Rear
All right.
bumpers. So here we have all the ugly diffusers, which obviously do not work on this car. A carbon rear for some reason. So yeah, that's not.
All it had is spats behind the rear tires.
Believe it or not, they actually have that upgrade. So we'll get to that.
Okay.
Chassis. Now I know your roll cage was very simple on your car, but this is quite elaborate. It's a bit more of like hardcore race car, but this is all we got to reference it.
Scaffolding, yeah.
Yeah.
So here's a piece of trivia. The roll bar in the car that you see in the toys, like if you buy a 1/18th scale Ertl die cast, you'll see that the roll cage was yellow, and that's because my car was yellow before the movie, and when they painted the car orange, they didn't want to paint the roll bar as orange. And then after the movie, you'll see pictures of the car later on, floating around the internet with the chrome roll cage, because I after the movie I got the car back, I took that cage out and had it chromed, and then put it back in.
I didn't know that part.
And that car still exists exactly the way I left it. I mean, exactly right down to the stickers.
Jesus. So,
And the car's in the Netherlands, and I'm going to be seeing it when in Belgium in a couple of weeks. I'm going to see it again. This is the second time I've seen it this year. I first saw it in where was I? Holland, at Rotterdam. The guy who owns the car is a really nice guy. He's got 7 movie cars from the first movie.
And did you sell your car directly to him, or somebody else sold it to him?
No, I sold it to a guy by the name Nick Kiersmaas, who lived in Belgium, right? He wanted to rent the car for a car show. And I said, well, I don't know who you are. And this is before the internet was like, there was no social media beyond MySpace and all that. So I said, if we're going to do this, you're going to send me a $50,000 deposit. Right?
Oof.
And I said, that's it. We'll put it in escrow. Everything be legit. We'll have both our attorneys sign the paperwork and all that kind of stuff. It's all good. All that. But honestly, I already had my eyes on another car. I had already bought an R34 GTR, which is sitting in my garage, and I wanted to buy a Lamborghini, so I'm just going to sell this car. Now, The Supra, when I got it back from the movie, I was doing a lot of paid appearance fees at movie theaters and all that kind of stuff, showrooms and all that stuff. And so we netted a really good profit on that car. I only spent $23,000 to buy the car, and I have about $10,000 of my own money, and everything else was sponsored product.
Wow.
So the take was just under $200K.
Jeez.
Yeah, that was back then. That's a lot of money back then. Anyway, you could buy a condo back then. Anyway, so that's what the history of the car and where it is now.
Unbelievable. So, man, that's crazy, and it's exactly the wow. That's I'm glad they kept it then, that originality though. You know, they kind of preserved it. That's awesome.
Well, and that was the thing. My boss told me, don't change the car because it's going to be worth a lot of money someday. I was like, oh yeah, bullshit.
Yeah, I mean
Nonsense.
Nobody knew. It could have been some movie that flopped, you know, and then that would have been it.
Right, like I said in our last video, I said when I first saw the video, fully edited and everything, I called my wife on the way home from the private screening, and she said, what do you think of the movie? I said, straight to VHS. This thing is going to really not be good, I'm telling you right now.
All right, so for the cage, you had the factory seats in the car just reupholstered, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then the regular seat here instead of the sports seat would be closer, the standard seats.
Right. They were reupholstered with the blue on the inside.
Yep, I remember that.
I did actually have racing seats, and when I got the car back and I was driving around for a while, I was driving around with racing seats in the car.
But in the film, it was just normal seats.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll do secondary cage just so I can show you. We can do the yellow, but then there's something that affects it, and I'll show you. It has to do with the mirrors, which is a bit annoying. But all right, engine, exhaust. All right, so here we go. Here we have the exhaust options. So you got the single chrome, which would probably be the closest, even though it's on the wrong side, right? On your car, was on the passenger side or the driver's side?
Driver's side.
The driver's side. So this is on the wrong side then.
To any of the Rockstar game, I mean, when a GTA, it's a Rockstar, right?
Yeah, you can call them Rockstar, and then the developers of Rockstar, we just call them Rockstar devs. Those are the ones who make, you know, all these cars.
Did anybody of Rockstar devs bother to open a magazine?
Or even just Google the car. I mean, a lot of the things too, unfortunately, is they really have to have a balance between not getting too close, and sometimes that just means flip-flopping things around, which is kind of stupid. But sometimes that's the way it ends up. But yeah, single chrome would be the closest, I suppose.
Yeah.
Headlight cover. Oh, you're gonna love this. This is terrible looking, but look, you got the.
Oh, now it's a 240SX.
And the full headlight cover. Well, and then you got this.
Oh, somebody actually made that kit back in the
really?
day. Oh yeah, there was headlight covers like that, or headlight buckets. They were a whole bucket, and it turned it into an Acura Integra. They're just going backwards.
Oh, that's terrible. Yeah,
hideous.
That looks awful. Yeah, okay, yeah, definitely keeping that stock. Fenders. Oh, here you go. Here's your rear spats. Look at that. Isn't that cool?
Close enough.
Yeah.
That's right on them, actually.
Yep.
And they don't have to worry about Bomex. Bomex is out of business, so they're never going to get sued.
There you go, Rockstar.
Yeah. 2015, they've been done.
And let me see here. We got the different hoods. Was the hood also Bomex?
No, TRD.
Oh, so it's a mix. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the closest hood. There it is.
That's it. That's it.
Yep. The closest one we got.
Close enough. The corners aren't rounded, but it's close enough.
Yeah. No, they did a great job getting close to it.
Looking good.
Lights. So I guess we'll leave the stock lights for this. Your lights were the standard bulbs. Did you ever change the bulbs before the film?
Well, first off, they weren't rectangular. They were all round.
Right. No, I know. But in terms of the bulbs themselves, like, did you have the factory headlights in it? Did you change anything with the headlights?
You put xenon bulbs in those back days.
But did you have it on your car or no?
Yeah.
So your car had xenons, really?
It was an aftermarket kit. Comes with the ballast.
Yeah, xenon.
And everything you need to put. So you take this different type of light bulb. It's got a ballast. You hook it up to power on the headlight switch, and it's a brighter white.
No way. So your car. So here we have xenons, which gives it more of like a blue tint to it. But I think that's too much blue. I think the white, the stock would be closer to yours, right?
Hey, man, you weren't even born yet.
Well,
You weren't even born. You were barely born. What were you, 4, 3?
playing with my little Hot Wheels. Oh man.
They were maybe not quite as blue, but
Right.
certainly in that whitish blue, if that makes sense.
So I think the stock then would be the closest because it's got a tiny bit of blue in there.
Turn the xenons on. Let me see the xenons.
Too blue, I think. You can see the floor there too. See all the blue.
All right, yeah, all right. So we'll keep it stock lights. Yeah, I think I agree.
Okay. And your car obviously had no underglow, thank God.
Nope, not on my car.
Thank God. All right, here we have the liveries. So the livery from the film, which they tried their best to get close to, is all the way at the bottom here, and it's called the 10-minute car. So like reference to the scene.
10-minute car?
Yeah, I said a 10-second car, not a 10-minute car. Remember that?
How about Nuclear Gladiator?
Nuclear Gladiator. That's literally what they did. You gotta see it.
If anybody from Rockstar is listening, please call me. Immediately. Do an emergency breakthrough if you have to. And I'm going to recommend that maybe you guys stop hitting the bong before you get to the office. Okay?
Send Craig an email to his business email. It's in his channel description. Well, it's the reference that counts. Like they say, it's the thought that counts. So in the case of this livery, it's the reference that counts. So we'll slap that on there, even though it's not that close, but the reference is there. We got the plate. I got my 4-paw plate on here. So the real car in the film, it was a California plate. Obviously, the film took place in California, and the text was 3NTQ305. So that was the text from the film. But Craig's car, did you have a custom plate on yours, Craig? The one in real life, or was it just outside of the film, or was it just a random generated plate they gave you?
Yeah, no. So first it started with 4BPW068, which was the state issued. Then the plate was I Heart Naira, which was the Naira drag racing.
That's awesome.
Okay. Because I was the executive director of Naira, so
Right.
there was that. Made sense. I still have those plates.
In Florida where I live, you have to surrender your custom plates, which is annoying. You have to surrender it, else I think they fine you or something like that. Actually, no, after 30 days they suspend your license or something like that. Yeah. You
Don't mess around.
Yeah, no, you have to surrender the plate. It kind of sucks, but it is what it is. All right, primary color. So for this, we'll go to a metallic. So I saw in one of your videos, it was a Lambo orange that they painted this car?
So this is a lot of confusion about this. I wanted a Lamborghini orange color, okay?
Okay.
And Lamborghini paints were back then were PPG, right?
Okay.
So, but we didn't use PPG to paint my car. They actually used House of Color, Tangelo Pearl. It was called Tangelo Pearl.
Okay, and the pearl on the paint, was it more of like a gold, a yellow, a brighter orange?
I guess it's kind of a gold. It's Tangelo Pearl, so it's a secret recipe, right?
Right.
So, but it depends on the light. If you look at it in certain light, it gets kind of dark, like you can see on the fenders here. And then if you look on the hood, on the slit from this, under lights, it gets a very bright orange and very pearlescent.
And is it like, if you look at the pearl in direct sunlight, is it more of like a gold though, or a yellow, or an orange?
It's like a high saturation orange.
Okay, so a brighter orange pearl. Okay. So in GTA, these are the standard colors here. So in reality, I think it's somewhere between this orange and the sunrise orange. I think.
No, that's too. That was way too dark that you put in there, but you went too fast.
So I found this crew color in the forums, in the GTA forums. Somebody suggested to me. So what do you think of this?
It's missing the pearl.
Yeah, we'll add the pearl to it. Let's put this. I'll leave the hex to this down below in the description, by the way, guys.
We'll try pearlescent.
Yeah, let me try the... Here we go. Ooh, that looks good.
Yeah.
That looks really good.
Yeah, that's it.
Damn!
That
Wow.
little line that went down the fender, go the other side of the car, please. You see that? That's
Yep.
how it really shows in light.
Holy crap, that's amazing. Alright, so that's it. So it's that crew hex with the brighter orange pearl. Alright.
What's funny is I paid less than $15,480, but maybe with inflation I did.
For what? For the
Paint
car?
job.
Oh, the paint job. Jesus.
All the glass came out.
Oh my god.
It's windshield, side quarter windows, real glass, all schmear.
Now, what's the name of the channel you did your Supra rebuild with? I forgot. It was Fast something. The car that they recently rebuilt with you.
You can think it.
Oh, Just Driven.
Just Driven.
Yeah.
I saw in that video they did with you. The engine bay was black.
Yeah, so my car was white originally, okay?
Right.
Before I painted yellow, took everything off the firewalls and painted it black.
Oh.
Because I just wanted to see the shiny stuff, right? Okay. So then when
Life is hard when
Just Driven did it, they wanted to do it a proper way. That everything came off that car. It was a rotisserie build, so they wanted the engine bay to be orange too, which is a proper way to paint the car.
Right.
But like I said, when I gave the car to Universal and they painted it orange, there was no way I was going to paint the engine bay orange because I was not planning on keeping the car that color.
So it was still
And then
black in the film.
It's still black. It's still black today.
Wow, unbelievable. So let's move on here to here's the roll cage thing. So look, you can actually make the roll cage yellow. So you can see here, yellow, and you're like, oh, look at that, that works. But you see a problem on the exterior of the car?
You can't. Who is Liberace working at that place?
You see all the mirrors are yellow?
I am seriously questioning their color theory.
And sometimes in GTA, what you can do is they'll have like a mirror upgrade, and then so this is secondary color, right? This category. So sometimes there will be an upgrade where you can override the mirrors to primary color. So then it would put
How
it
about
back
just
to
giving carbon mirrors for every car?
I don't know. A lot of cars have that. This one for some reason doesn't have any mirror upgrades though. It would have been nice if they would have given us the option to override it. That way I can do orange mirrors, but I can't. So in this case, what we'll do is we'll do a compromise, and if it was done the right way, it probably would have been done this way anyways. We'll do the orange matching cage. I think that works, right? That's the best compromise we got, unfortunately.
Yeah.
How many cars you got in this?
So I mean, I don't want to put orange mirrors on it. I mean yellow mirrors. Sorry, I don't want to put yellow mirrors on it. So this is what we're going with.
Don't she look pretty?
Trim color. Here we go. So here we can do your blue. Go here to. So you tell me which blue it was. Let me give it.
It's gonna be a bright. It's gonna be a. That's it. Bingo. That's it.
Ultra blue. Okay.
That's it.
Ultra blue. All right. Racing blue is too dark, right?
Mhm.
So ultra blue. All right.
Your cosmetic.
Look at that. That's sick. Okay, going on to the roof here. We got, unfortunately, roof scoop options, which is stupid for a car like this.
Where does it? You know what happened with that Eclipse? With
I
the roof
heard.
scoop,
I heard it started cracking right around the
Yeah.
edges.
it's just a windbreak, and it just starts pulling. It's fiberglass, and it starts pulling up the seams. If you grafted into the roof, and everything started cracking, and it was a pain in the ass.
It basically starts destroying itself.
You can't drive that car like that. You really can't, because it's just a matter of time becomes
Yeah, it's an air brake.
right.
Yeah.
And so the only way to do that is if you put the scoop up there, you're going to have to fill that hole flush to the edge with some kind of black device that pushes the air around it, not in it.
Right. And this car, unfortunately, doesn't have a Targa option, which really angers me, but, just is what it is. Some cars in GTA do have Targa options. Off the top of my head, the Corvette C8 base car has it. The Porsche 918 base car has it, which is the 811, and obviously the Corvette was the D10. So I mean, some cars do have it, but for some reason Rockstar said nope, they didn't do it for this car, which kind of sucks. But continuing to skirts, so we got the primary lip skirt, which this would probably be the closest we have in game.
That's the closest, yeah.
Yeah, this one's carbon, which doesn't work. This one has the sponsors and stuff, so good reference there. Spoilers, here we go. This is a fun one. So we got different spoiler upgrades here. I guess tell me when to stop.
Go to all the high level spoiler. Let's see that. Wrong. 16 grand for that.
Well,
go to the bottom. Big GT wing type
Life
1.
is hard when you can have anything.
Yikes.
Nope. Go type 3.
That's this one. I think it sticks out too far.
Yeah, this is it. Close enough. They don't have the angle plates, but just go carbon wing type 2. Let me take a look at that.
I think this is the closer one, because I think
Looking at the end plates.
Yeah. Oh, the end plate.
Yeah. Yeah, and the brackets are close.
Yeah.
So between that one and I think the carbon type wing 3.
Yeah, this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
In my video, I put this one because I think the brackets are in the right place.
Correct. Yeah. I agree.
All right, so we'll do that one. And your wing, it was aluminum, right?
It had aluminum all over it. Everything was aluminum.
And the end plates were what?
Aluminum.
But they were black aluminum.
Right.
Interesting. Okay.
They were satin finish.
And that was an AR performance wing. Right?
APR.
Oh, APR. Okay. All right, suspension. Oh, I want to get your opinion on this. I know a lot of the cars, they set at stock ride height. The stunt cars and all that.
Stunt cars are very rarely lowered for obvious reasons because number one, you have to understand every time when they film those cars, they have to load them on a trailer, right? They have to drive them to the set. They have to take them off the trailer. They have to go through driveways. They're going to be doing jumps. They have to slide, all that kind of stuff. And so lowering the car, it just makes a nightmare because the front bumper is going to get cracked every day. The side skirts are going to go over speed bump and get cracked every day, which means they're spray painting on set every night, which is they don't want to do. So they keep the stunt cars at stock ride height. And sometimes they even use different tires, profiles, to give them more play in the suspension, right? Like here's an example. These tires are way too tall. These tires look like they're 45 or 50 series, for Christ's sake.
I think when we change the wheels, I think the tire profile is a little bit less. So we'll get to that shortly. So in terms of your own car, like as far as the suspension, because I mean stock right here, this is pretty low, and obviously all of this is way too low, I think.
Orale, vato.
So what do you think of one of these? What do you think stock would be the closest, or maybe lowered or street?
It's going to come down. It's going to come down to the tire and wheel combination. I said that go down a little bit. Yeah, let's leave it there.
At this one or this one?
This one right there.
Oh, but this is street suspension. Okay, so street suspension, and then we can come back to it after we do the wheels.
Okay.
Transmission, turbo. Speaking of turbo, your car was a single turbo converted, right?
Right.
Nice.
The cops stop you.
All right, here we go. Wheels. So if you remember from our Skyline build, Rockstar can't get that close with the wheels, so more compromises. But I'm gonna show you, at least to me, like maybe 3 or 4 of the closest ones, and then I guess I can have you pick which one you think looks the closest. So let's start off here with high end. No, sorry, sport. We're gonna go down to these right here. So we have these, and you notice something wrong at this angle with the wheel?
The offset is crazy.
Nope,
in the back.
It's not connected to the hub. See that?
Oh, those must be the new floating hubs.
Yeah, they're Bluetooth. They're Bluetooth.
Bluetooth. Oh yeah, there you go.
So
What is wrong with these people?
some wheels that are too flat, I guess they don't program it properly for the car. Sometimes, yeah. So that's the first one, and then we have another one here, which is the where was it? Might have been in high. Oh, here it is. The Infernos. So the wheels on the car in the film were 2-piece wheels, right? And they had like a polished / chrome lip with the alloy spokes.
They were technically 3, yeah, but...
Oh, 3? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, these in the video I made, these are the ones I put. I think these were the closest. Then I can show you one more in the street category or track, called 90s running, I believe. Oh, here we go. And then we have these, but the spokes are too thick on these. Plus, it's center locking.
It's a 5-star wheel, a 5-spoke wheel.
Yep.
They can't have a. Jesus.
Yeah, I know. I've seen a lot of people with these builds. They put the chrome, but like full chrome. I think that's just excessive. I think it needs the contrast, with the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's going to be the best you can do.
All right, so Inferno it is with the alloy. I wish I could make it brighter silver, but I can't. And unfortunately, wheel color, that's all we got. It just goes darker from there, or white, which just looks terrible. So, yeah, it's the brightest silver we can put on it. Unfortunately, it's either that or chrome, and I think the silver's better. Windows. So tints.
Yes, my car had windows.
No, the tints.
No. I don't live up in Los Angeles. I'm not a rap star.
But your car had tints, or no?
Of course I do. Yeah.
But it had So what would you think would be the closest to your light smoke, dark smoke, or limo?
No, light.
Light. Okay. So light smoke it is. All right. Here's how it looks from interior. Okay. And that's all the options there. All right, let's take it for a drive. It looks pretty good, right? Not bad.
Not terrible, but I really want Rockstar to call me.
I really hope they do. I mean, it'd be insane if they get you involved with GTA 6. That'd be crazy. All right, here we go. So here's, unfortunately, it's nighttime right now, but here's the interior, the roll cage and everything. Obviously, the roll cage is way off, but at least the reference is there. Got the wing and everything. It looks pretty good. There's floored here.
We're going to a takeover.
Takeover.
Don't go down that street. That place is burned. That location is burned, man.
Yeah, thankfully I don't do those takeover things in real life. I go to Cars and Coffees and that's it.
You have a Dodge Challenger. You have to be there.
Come on, Craig. The stereotypical Dodge Charger / Charge.
Yes. As a matter of fact, all your GPS waypoints and the navigation system are already pre-programmed for you.
Can you imagine? Oh my god. So this car in the game, this is gonna sound like Chinese to you, but for my GTA viewers, you guys know that this car unfortunately has the slow handling flags, which slows it down over every single bump you go over, which is really annoying. So Rockstar, they haven't removed it off this car. They probably never will. They partially removed it in one of the updates, but and then they put it back again. So yeah, so it is what it is. Kind of annoying to drive, the engine skipping around and everything. The sound just kind of ruins the driving experience, but in terms of the look and the sound, I think it's still a great looking car.
So,
go ahead.
As for the sounds, the actual sound files are still online.
Oh, for the ones for the film?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I did a video how they did the car sounds.
Right.
This was about 1.5 years ago. It's in my channel, and I actually put the links for the actual sound files for the Supra, for the Skyline, and the Maxima.
Oh, wow.
Recorded from my cars. Okay, and then ironically, I grew up in Santa Clarita Valley, up north of LA, about 20 minutes. One of my good friends, he was a roommate of mine when we were ski school instructors during school, and he worked in the movie business doing sound files. And he says, we have all those sound files. And I said, I know, I've been on your website. And so I gave everybody the link. So if everybody wants to see what the cars really sound like, go back and find that video about how do they do the sounds. I have pictures, I have video, I have sound files. It's all there.
Unbelievable.
And so if Rockstar wants to get them, I'm pretty sure that they can get those files.
Hell yeah. So let me open everything up here so you can see the. What do you think of the engine bay?
When did they put an RB26 in a Supra?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, this is like they use this engine model for both the 2J inspired cars and the RB26 inspired cars. Just is what it is, unfortunately. Yeah. Here's the interior we did. Speaking of which, what do you think of the interior on this car?
Again, why are we in a 1986 Toyota Corolla?
I think this is the same one. I have to look back. I'm pretty sure this
Yeah.
is the same one from the Skyline that we did in
Yep.
the last video. That's funny. I guess they really like using this interior in 90s JDM cars.
I don't know if it's a licensing thing
Oh,
or
it is.
if
It's partially.
okay, but I feel like they're just being lazy.
Yeah. I mean, some cars. Yeah. No. Yeah. That definitely is. It's also a combination of laziness, because there's some cars that they do take a lot of pride in. For example, the McLaren F1, which I can show you here. I don't think it shows the interior in here, but let me show you here really quick. McLaren F1. These are all the cars on the game, by the way. There's a ton, but let's find the McLaren F1. By the way, the Supra on this game is 800 grand. It's 790.
That's cheap. That's cheaper than buying one of the movie cars. I can tell you that.
True. There you go. There's
That's
some positivity.
It's a veritable bargain.
Here we go. And the McLaren F1's only 1.2 million. So a bit of logic there. This one doesn't show the interior pictures, but I guess I'll show that to you later. But some cars they do put the effort into.
You know what though? I think Rockstar can sidestep all of this if they just do a video like on stage, right? And they said, we want to talk about the accuracy of the video of the vehicles. Here's the deal: if we do this, it's going to cost this much to do, and that means the price of the game is going to go up, right? Because these are all hard costs, and they're
Right.
annual costs, they're recurring costs. So they've got to charge more.
Yeah.
And so all we can do is do, tribute builds. These are not replicas, they're tributes.
Right.
And that's the way we want to do it. But if there's a way to do it for a higher subscription fee, I wonder how many people will actually pay the higher subscription fee.
Yeah.
You take a look at a company like CSR, who had me on a consultant for a while to build the Supra and the Skyline, and what happened with them. And I played their game often. I mean, I'm not a big drag race fan, but I had fun tuning the cars and everything, and the accuracy was really, really good, because these guys cared enough to ask the right questions and cared enough to get the pictures and do it right. But that cost money.
Yeah.
And so the game got expensive, and then about a year later, when I got back on again, because I hadn't played in a long time, everybody was complaining about how expensive these mods are. And you got to realize that the people who are playing these games, or a lot of them anyway, are young and they don't have their own credit card, right?
Right.
So, and I am cognizant of that. I get it, totally get it. And so these kids, and I mean, it would have been the same thing for me if I was 9 years old and playing this game. I have no idea I was super from a 300 ZX.
Right.
Really, right? So, is it really a problem for me at that point? Nope, not really. But if you've got a 19-year-old or 25-year-old and play with these cars and like, this is shit. This is not good. This is not good. It's kind of close. I mean, you know what car you're looking at, but it's
Right.
just not really there, right? So does it really matter?
Yeah, that's the Supra build there. Something I wanted to talk to you about, Craig.
Yeah.
So how since your car is still left in the original state from when you sold it, your Supra, how does it feel like seeing it in person again? Like every time you see it, like does it?
Well, I had not seen it until just this October. This is now May or April of 2023, which is 21 years after I sold the car. So the first time I saw the car was in October. So they flew me out to Holland to do this autograph thing, the car show, and I was there with the guys from ChromeCars.de. D as in David, E as in Edward. They're collectors of Fast and Furious cars and other cars, and so they had me there in their booth, and they had a bunch of cars there, and the cars were all covered up with car covers. And so as we prepared to start the show on Saturday, we started taking the covers off the cars, right? And so they had Jesse's Jetta there, a couple of other Dodge vehicles from the movie, the Yanko Camaro from Too Fast, Too Furious,
Oh, wow.
and they took all of the car covers except for two. And I said, we're going to take this one off. And this is after a long, long day of setup. And we start pulling the car cover off, and I see the orange on it right away. And I'm like, I didn't think anything. I was like, what is this now? They pull it off, and it's my car. And I can tell instantly because it has the sticker that I left on the top of the windshield that says Art in Motion, my car club.
Oh.
And they had the Naira sticker on their back window. It was the wing still had my signatures on the car, from Paul Walker, the director,
My God.
the director as well, and one of the script writers, all still. So I knew it was right away, and so I got a little emotional.
I can imagine, man. I mean, after
I got in the car, and all the smells came back.
Oh. Oh.
The squash air freshener.
Right.
And I said, quick, somebody hand me a Prodigy CD. Yeah, what track do you want? I think I left that in the player.
How long, if you don't mind me, how long did you own the car after filming? After filming was over? Was it like
about
year?
A year and a half.
Wow, that's quite a long time.
Yeah, but I wanted to get rid of it for longer than you couldn't drive that car anywhere. Half the people would say, "Why is an old man?" I was in my 30s at the time. Why is an old man driving a movie car?
They didn't know it was the real thing.
Huge canoe. This is the age of Ford Expeditions, with everybody had headrest TVs for their brats in the back, right? So I'm at a gas station putting gas in my car, and I look over my shoulder, and there's this kid sitting on the passenger side of this Ford Expedition, looking at his TV, and he's looking at me like I'm like an asshole. And he looks over to me and he goes, "That's your car?" "Yeah." "Why did you copy the movie car?"
Oh my God. What?
It's actually, I said, the kid was he wasn't 5, this kid was like 11. And I said, "It's actually the real car." And he goes, "Yeah, okay, sure."
Oh my God.
You little shit.
At that moment, you pull out a binder full of pictures. Here, look, you see?
I had the pictures, but not in a binder.
Right.
It wasn't a big deal. Every time I drove into a car show, people look at me, look at that Rice Mobile. And people laughed about those cars for years.
Yeah.
Nobody talked to that movie, and then Tokyo Drift came out, and they got popular again. And then nobody talked to me. I never talked about from 2003 or 4. I didn't talk about anything Fast and Furious until after Paul died. Nobody cared. People knew that about me, and when they would joke with me, my close friends knew, but nobody else knew.
Does a part of you, like a small part of you, wish you would have? I know at that moment in time you just wanted it gone because of the stigma behind it. But does a part of you wish you would have been able to keep it?
Well, hindsight is 20/20. But what would I do with the car?
Hey, you'd probably sell it.
If I wait 20 years, yeah, I could got the guy that holds the cars now. The guy who has my Skyline turned down $2.1 million last year.
For the GTR from Too Fast and Furious?
Yeah, but it doesn't look anything close to the car anymore. It's black. It's completely different.
Over
you wouldn't
$2
even
mil?
recognize it. Yes.
Jesus Christ! And the Supra, has their current owner gotten any crazy offers for that?
You know what? It's difficult to figure out the price of that car. That is arguably one of the 2 or the 3 top cars in the franchise.
Yeah.
You got the
100%.
Dodge Charger, the
Yeah.
Green Eclipse, and this car. So these are the cars. So what would it fetch? $1 million, $1.5 million, $2 million? This is the actual freaking car.
Yeah.
So you can't drive that car on the road. There's been many pictures of replica Supras. Some were good replicas and some were horrible replicas or more tribute cars that have been smashed up. 2 years ago, the guy who had a right-hand drive replica, I call it tributed car because the steering wheel was on the wrong bloody side, got smashed by a drunk driver, and that car was
boy.
totaled. So you could imagine. I wouldn't even put it on a trailer. What happens if the trailer blows over and the car gets destroyed?
Yeah. No, yeah, or you get a bunch of rock chips or something. You're from who knows, a dump truck or.
Or the car gets stolen.
Yeah, or that too. No, that's it's yeah. I mean, it's kind of crazy to own something like that. I mean, you just want to sell it right away because I mean, it's just too much of an expensive thing to have.
And then what do? Put it in a museum? So that's $2 million sitting on the showroom floor. And so, I mean, that's fun and everything, but at my age, that would be irresponsible. I would take that money and invest it in something else, you know?
That's crazy. What do you think of the paint job of this in the sun here?
In the sun?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah?
looks good, right?
It's a little pastel in the front. And
Yeah.
in the back when there's no light on it. But go around the front of the hood. Can you do that?
Let me go here.
Yeah, that feels right.
Yeah.
That's really good, actually.
Hell yeah!
They're
Wow,
big.
hearing that from you, that's crazy.
No, seriously, that's really good.
Hell yeah!
That's good.
Hell yeah! Well, Craig, I do thank you for joining me with this build. I look forward to doing some future ones. I think we're probably gonna do the S2000 next. I know you have a lot of good stories for that. So that's
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what we're gonna do next. That car that they actually have a livery kind of similar to the real one, even though it's probably a lot less accurate than this one is, or it looks a little less close than this one.
Are we doing the Suki car or the
Suki
other
car,
guy?
the Suki car.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a blast with that one.
Oh yeah. Well, guys, again, Craig's channel will be linked down below. I'll probably just pin his comment if he comments down below in the comments again, so you guys can go check out his channel. But no, thank you again, Craig. Really, really appreciate your time on this, and yeah, look forward to some other builds.
Yeah, should be good.
All right, guys. Well, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.